I would say the opera's central theme theatrically is personal identity. Our protagonist is one of those television talking head type reporters, and she's really splash over substance. Her identity is her career, except that her career is just about getting more career, so it's a spiral to nowhere. In other words, she has no identity. The story begins when she gets an intuition about turning a missing person's story into a big blow-up genocide piece, and she sees this as a big break opportunity. But midway into the opera, she gets really tripped up on the basic question, who are these missing survivors? Neither the killers nor the killed. They, like everyone in the entire opera, is functionally anonymous, and the libretto robs them of their names. They're all lost, all the characters, either to time or to themselves. And perhaps it's in these missing people, in their unwritten story, that she recognizes her own personal anonymity. I mean, who is she herself? She too has no name. And it's as though she's staring into a mirror and no image is reflected. She needs to find a connection. Deeper into the story begins to literally come alive to her. So the people she has studied leave the documentation, they leave the page, they leave the screen and walk into her life. And she's forced to confront them, just as she has been confronting her relationship to them, because it seems, as she does more looking, that she herself might even be part of this story. And the more real they become to her, the more she herself seems to be involved, until at last she's flung into the middle of it, and the horrific events of the past become her present. Now, at this point in the opera, we don't really know as an audience where we are or when we are, and the libretto speaks of memory as a black depth that swallows us up. So is time somehow shifting around her, or is this all just happening in her head? And if it is all just happening in her head, is she having these visions because she's trying to generate a personal connection to the story? She's trying to generate a personal story for herself? Or is she actually recovering lost memories of a terrible past? Either way, the barriers and protections of history, of document, of time and space are stripped away one by one. And there she is in the middle of it with family and with love, and then just as suddenly with loss. And quickly, stunningly, her life is shattered. And she's left shivering in the darkness, surrounded by ghosts. And I think this is where the libretto takes its most unconventional turn. These events that she has witnessed / participated in / remembered have broken her, and yet she continues to live on in some time and some place. And in fact, the time and place are no longer even relevant because she's lost the will to continue whenever or wherever she is. And yet, her life persists. The ghosts of the missing 3 are around her, but they can't bring her relief or the answers that she wants. They can only really pass on the memory of their love. So eventually she has to stand up and continue the act of living. And that's the picture the opera leaves us with, this fight each day in the face of brokenness. It's a fight that's not grand, it's not overtly heroic. One might even say unoperatic, but I think it is very real. And when looked straight in the face, it's quite intense and quite engaging, because it is so fundamentally human.
Wie bist du?